Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker for today, Dr. Syed Aafaq Hussain. With over 25 years of experience in project management, business analysis, and training, Dr. Syed is globally recognized expert in his field. He holds multiple certifications, including PMP, PMI-PBA, and ITIL 4, and has trained over 25,000 professionals worldwide. His expertise spans across industries like IT, construction, oil, oil and gas sector, healthcare, and more, working with top Fortune 100 companies such as Microsoft, Amazon, Boeing, and IBM. Today, he is here to share his invaluable insights on project management and how it can propel your career forward. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Syed Afaq Hussain. Welcome, sir. Sir, you are on mute, I think.
Okay, now I saw the output. Are you able to hear now? Okay, great. It was not able like this now. I'm just sharing my screen. Are you able to see the screen? Okay, great. Thank you very much. Warm welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to spend evening with you all. Thanks for we launch you for organizing this webinar and giving an opportunity to spend some time with you all. Thanks for the introduction. And on behalf of Arians, I welcome you all. So this is a completely informal, interactive session. And once I run through this presentation, you can ask me any question, and that's how we go ahead. So the topic of today's webinar is project management you cannot ignore. So let's see how many of you believe into this. Let me know how many of put it in the chat. How many of you believe that project management cannot be ignored? Please put in the chat. Let us be interactive. So Imran says, I do believe. Rupak says, wonderful. Good. How about others? It's vital. Lifeline. Naim says, vital. Great. So during this presentation, I'll also be sharing and demystifying about project management. And as you keep on putting in the chat, my way of definition of a project is nothing but a work. And we all work. The moment you replace the word project with work, the whole project management becomes easy. It is not a rocket science, and we all do work. So that's a simple definition of project. And managing this work in the best possible way with tools and techniques, globally accepted standards is what project management is. So the agenda for today's webinar is what is project management, and what is project management standards. I'm sure most of you might have heard about PMBOK guide, PMP, all these jargons, what are they? And project management principles, what are they? And what are the processes? Some of you might be thinking principles is a new thing that we have seen. And what are the development approaches, and how these global project management certifications add value, and what is the demand, and how you can upskill and develop the project management acumen. And I will run through few award-winning projects and the videos from the PMI, Project Management Institute. So when we talk about knowledge, process, standards, a lot of things come our mind. Most of you are aware about these, like ISO, very common, or PMI, Project Management Institute, or some of those who have joined from Europe, they might be aware about Prince2 or strategy maps, those who are into leadership, or IREB standards. So there are few standards that we as Arians deal with, and Arians is into project management and business analysis, training, consulting, process improvement, coming up with the process maturity models, establishing PMOs, Center of Excellence, etc., which I'll be telling later on. So now let's look into the definition of a project. So a project is a temporary endeavor. We call it temporary endeavor because it is a temporary effort, but the result is permanent. We call it as a temporary endeavor because every work should have a start and finish. This start and finish work is known as project, and when you finish the work, you create a unique product, service, or a result. Of a product is a villa or software. Example of a service is your implementation, consulting, and result is bringing a change in an organization is a result. So replace the word project with work, and any work where you put a temporary effort. Why we call it temporary? Because it should have a definitive start and definitive end. Any work that is not definitive end, we call it as an operations, continuous, repetitive. So this is the definition of a project. And today, the world is changing. I'm sure you all will agree with me. And PMI has coined a word called project economy. Now, economy is gone. Project economy is in. When we see around us, what all we do is directly or indirectly related to the projects. So today the word is project economy. And what is project management? Some of you might be from MBA. You have general management, but what is project management? Project management is The application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques. When I say tools, project management information system is a tool. Technique means brainstorming is a technique. So in the PMI philosophy, they don't list these are the tools that you will use to manage a project, and these are the techniques that you'll use to manage a project. Instead of that, they will just use the word tools and techniques. Because I'm sure when those who are from IT, for them, even a software is a tool. But the language, standards language is this way. So project management is application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to the project activities to meet the requirements. And these are the well-known standards to manage a project. The latest standard is the Project Management Body of Knowledge Guide, 7th edition. Some of you might be aware with the 6th edition also. Now PMI has retired and they have replaced the same with Process Guide Practice Standard and Agile. Agile is also a way of doing your projects. Those who are into software, they are aware. I will also discuss something briefly about Agile. So what are the project management principles? If you are managing the projects, today the projects are global. You have cross-functional teams, you have distributed teams, you have virtual teams, and you are managing projects with diversity, different people, different culture, different industry, different experience. So these are the 12 principles that you have to keep in mind while managing the projects. The first is be a diligent, respectful, and caring steward. Just visualize you're traveling in a flight 36,000 feet high, and how the steward, air hostess, they take care of you all. There is a word in project management called generational diversity. In that plane, 36 feet, there is an infant and there is also a senior citizen of 70 years old. You have to take care of all of them. Different culture, different nationalities, different food habits, and how respectfully they take care of. So similarly, today we have to take care of our team and stakeholders. Create a collaborative project team environment. See the word collaboration, collaborative, we all know it's an English word. But while doing the work, are we really collaborating with our team? That's the question which you all will be having the answers. But you as a project leader, you have to create an environment in such a way there is a trust, there is a common understanding, there is a common mission, there is common values, and all are working with the same goal. That is what is the job of a project manager today. Effectively engage with the stakeholders. PMI did a global survey and they asked the questions to professionals like you. When do you think a project is complex? You'll be surprised, 51% of project professionals like you, they said, we can manage scope, we can manage uncertainty. And when it becomes multiple stakeholders, the complexity increases. And with that research, we came up with a standard on managing complexity in your projects, programs, and portfolios. So effectively engaging the stakeholders is a big challenge, which you and me know. That's what here also we come back to this principle, navigate complexity. Focus on value. Today, the sponsors, CEOs, and the business owners have become smart. Of course, they were always and they are. with all due respect to them. They are telling you are a project manager. Completing the project within time, scope, budget is not a great thing. You are meant for that. But show me the value. As a client, show me the value. If there is no value, then your project is not successful. Show me the benefit. So this is what the concept of project management is today. Recognize, evaluate, and respond to the system interactions. As a project manager, you're with the quality team, risk team, procurement team, logistics team, supply chain, finance, accounting. For all them, be respectful, demonstrate leadership and behavior. Here also PMI did a global survey, and they found out, they did a survey with the C-suite executives, and you'll be surprised, 86% of them, they said, our project managers are great, but they don't think like a leader. Our project managers are great, but they don't know how business is coming. They don't have business acumen. They're always firefighting. The third thing is technical project management. They're not at all updating themselves. So after this, PMI made it mandatory. Whoever wants to extend that certification, they have to compulsory sit 8 hours of training in these three. And this they call it as a talent training. So these are a few, and we have to embrace the adaptive resilience. Resilience is how quickly you can bounce back. Even for IT, this is a measure of servers. So this project management is also grouped under 5 process groups. Like any work you take, you initiate, you plan, you execute as per plan, and you monitor and control whether it is going ahead of schedule, behind schedule, over the budget, under the budget, and finally close. Within these process groups, you will have the processes. And every process, it has an input, output. And even to bake a cake, there is a process. You have ingredients, you have oven as a tool, blending, mixing temperature is a technique, and you'll get a beautiful, hot, tasty vanilla cake. So these are the 49 processes that are used to manage any project in the world. It can be from any domain, it can be any industry. That's the reason this project management, particularly PMP certification, is so much in demand and well. So in initiation, here is a difference in real life and in the standards. Usually, you will get a project and you start plan. But as per standards, any work first you have to initiate it. Develop a project charter, the initial document which authorizes a project in a project. Then identify the stakeholders, who will be the stakeholders. And then it starts with the planning. You plan scope, you plan schedule, you plan cost, budget, quality, and you also identify the risk, how to do the communication, and analyze it, quality, put a quality management plan, how to manage the team, and plan procurement, which contract is good for you. All of this is a part of the plan. Then in monitoring and controlling, whether our project is going as per plan or not. That is what we look into: the scope, schedule, and cost, and of course, communication. 90% of the work of a project manager is only on communication. And also monitoring the stakeholder engagement. We plan that we have to involve these stakeholders. Are they really engaged? Are they helping you in the success of the project or not? And finally, close the project. And then you hand it over to you transition it. It may go to operations, production, that way. So today, when you look the way the world is managing the projects, there are three approaches. One is called predictive life cycle, where, as the name indicates, predictive, you can predict what the next phase of a life cycle is going to come. This is also known as SDLC or waterfall, because in waterfall it goes from one level to other level. You cannot skip the level, and it is a linear way, which is a traditional. So building a villa, think it is a predictive life cycle. Adaptive life cycle, this started with IT industry. Adaptive life cycle is a mindset change where the phases are intentionally between 1 to 4 weeks. So whenever you come across adaptive life cycle, think of a website. You can make changes based on the sponsor or client requirements. Now the world is changing fast, and last 5 years, if you see the way the pandemic has come, today we are doing a hybrid approach. Wherever you want to be predictive, you be predictive. Wherever the scope or the requirements are not clear, not decided, you be adaptive and be predictive. So it's a combination of both of them. That's a hybrid life cycle. And recently, PMI on their website, pmi.org, they have released a recent study about how companies are adapting or moving to the hybrid. And PMI calls this as way of working. Wow. You are a project manager. It is your company. It is your money. It is your culture of your organization. It is your risk tolerance. It is you pick and choose what you want is best for you and do the work. That's your way of working. So these are the three development approaches. And recently, PMI has released a survey. Those who are project management professionals certified, they are globally having an increase in salary for 32%. And that research is also available. You can have a look at it. And let me tell, every day we train, mentor globally people, and every country in the world, for major tenders, there should be at least minimum 2 certified project managers to qualify. So this is the demand, and you'll also be surprised. Every day, 3,000 people take this certification in a day worldwide. So this is the glimpse, and we have shared the link also here. So this is what I was talking about, the way of working. In the way of working is you take hybrid, you take principles, you take processes, and what is best for you, you start doing the project in that. And that's the value that project management, professional training, or certification brings value. Power skills, today we have to talk about emotional intelligence, which is very important. Social skills, that is also is very important. And business acumen. Acumen means how quickly you can understand. Business acumen is how quickly you can understand business. If I ask you which is the best business as on today, and immediately you say this is the best business, so I'll say, oh, you're talking like a businessman, right? That's called business acumen. You understand how the business works. So these are the few things which I thought of sharing and spend more time on, discuss. I'll I'll complete the presentation, and then I'll go ahead with the few videos I've selected to show you. Coming back to the value of certification, of course, as I said, we have all those logos and brands, what you have seen. We manage that global certifications from many bodies. But here the specific is to share something about PMI. CAPM is for those who don't have any experience, but they want to enter the project management as a career. PMP is for those who have 3 years of experience. Those who have more than 8 years of experience, I highly recommend that you plan for PGMP. There are millions of people, 1.5 million people PMP certified worldwide, but 5,350 certified worldwide only PGMP, 5,000 plus. Agile certification is also catching up, risk management. I'm also business analysis certified, and this is for requirements. And PMI has launched newly the construction professional, and we at Arians are doing globally training on all these certification and apart from many more certifications. So that's also a very great opportunity for those who are into project management or any role. See, think in this way. One is knowledge. You are learning world's best practices, 186 countries, what they are doing, millions of companies and billions of people. You will be among one of them. So grab the knowledge. If you wish, then you can go for certification. So this is how we always suggest, and even certified PMO is there. Coming specific to PMP, because this is very popular and most of you will be keen to know. Last 10 years, this has been world number one of the world number one out of 10 certifications, management certifications, ID certifications, whatever you see. And as I said, there are more than 1.5 million people who are certified. It talks about 3 domains: people, how you have to manage, and processes, what you have seen, and the business environment, compliance, governance. So the eligibility is 3 years, plus there is a mandatory training that you have to attend, and it's a multiple choice questions, multiple response. Now they have introduced drag and drop questions, hotspot questions, or you have to interpret the curves and fill up the blank questions. Now, coming back to Arians in terms of capacity building, let it be at a project level or a program level or a portfolio level, we take up an organization or individual, especially for organizations, corporates, and build them capability. We start with foundation certification, like just what is project management. Then we have intermediate, which is similar to the project management professional certification. Then we have the expert, which is like programming portfolio. So this framework, we have been using it worldwide in IT, in the manufacturing, you name any industry. We do capability building, and then if someone is interested in certification, definitely they can go for certification. So we have capability building for all functions. It's not only for IT or manufacturing, or the person is from accounting, uh, sales. For every function, we have the capability building. We also do project management assessment, like for the leadership, 360-degree assessment, or knowledge assessment for your team, specific team, high performance team, or any leadership assessment or business specific, those things also we are very much involved. Now a question may come, why Arians? See, we look at or you look at us as a problem solvers. We want to give the solutions. Now some say training, some may say consulting, all these words are there, but purely we start with understanding the problem and giving the solution. So we are into project management and business process management consulting, digital PMO setting up, and business analysis. So it's very much tied up with the people, processes, and technology. So like that, you can see we have the capabilities in all these things. Sustainability of a project. It's not one industry you name, right from agriculture, IT, manufacturing, nuclear, power stations, substations, construction, and you talk about defense. You talk any industry, we have expertise and we have global delivery centers from where we deliver training and consulting. So these are the few names that we have just put. As I said, we are into many industries: oil and gas, IT, telecom, aviation. So we thought that this is an opportunity to just spend time with you all. And thank you very much. I would also like to tell you or inform you that going ahead, we would like to uh, have a series of webinars, knowledge sharing webinars being delivered on topics so that it builds up a value in you on project management and business analysis. Uh, our CEO, Dr. Pramod Kumar, will be uh, continuing with these knowledge sharing webinars. He's a veteran, well experienced, and driving all these initiatives. So now I'm open for the questions. Any questions, please? I'll be glad to take the questions from you. Yes, yes. Thank you.
Hello, am I audible? Okay, yeah. Thank you for your knowledgeable insights on the project
Thank you.
management. I have one
It would be
question
great if you just, if you don't
regarding what is
mind,
the difference between
tell your
program
name
and
and
portfolio
industry
management.
and the question because I can relate in which industry domain you are, and definitely I would love to clarify this.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
So this is
Uh,
Imran Khan
Thanks,
from
Nasir.
Bangalore. So I
Bharati,
am into
about your time.
management consulting from
And you have
last
worked a lot
five,
with
6 years now.
automobile
Post my MBA.
industries
Before that, I
worldwide,
was into
including
automotive industry as a
Tata
design
Motors
engineer.
in India.
So yeah.
You have understood what is project, right, Nasir? So project is deliverable, and a group of related projects is known as a program, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
a group of program projects and operations is a portfolio. You got it now? Portfolio is a higher level of
Okay,
work.
okay,
For example, there are many organizations who are group of organizations, right? They are into energy, you are into automobile, you might be into
okay,
uh, heavy truck. There might be many.
okay. So,
So each of that business
mhm,
or each of the work, again, it is ultimately work that you group.
right,
The projects relating to car, automobile will be in one segment, right? So similarly, each portfolio will bring return on investment or strategic value of the vision. You're into automobile.
right,
We do a lot of work on EV. Now, globally, you know what is happening with the EV, right? So when you
correct.
start putting money from the organization point of view, you create an EV portfolio. Under that, related programs you'll put, and under that, you'll put the projects. And here,
Mm-hmm.
under portfolio, you can group anything, anywhere, anyhow. The reason is the focus is return on investment. And the portfolio will authorize the projects directly or the program directly.
Okay.
And let me also tell you, there is a lot of cultural difference between East and West. For example,
Mm-hmm.
you take ISRO, even if they are launching a satellite of 630 crores, they call it
Okay.
as a project. For example, in UAE, ADNOC is a big company.
I
Their
see.
one order was $10 billion to develop 10 islands, but still they call it as a project. But in IT,
Okay.
$5,000 worth of work, they call it as a program. So these are the jargons. I hope this answers your question. Wonderful. Thanks for asking.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. Thank you so much.